Christmas is upon us. Santa has been seen everywhere. Christmas carols and the spirit of giving is in the air. Christmas is when we do enjoy our gifts and the little ones have a great toy party. But with our adult faith, it is hoped that we reflect on the deeper meaning of Christmas, God's revelation. This is a time for Christians to engage with the world. Christmas is a time of great joy and an occasion of deep reflection. Benedict XVI has written a book about Jesus. He makes it clear that when Jesus brings God to men, the result is joy. Joy is a characteristic response to the coming of Christ, and it suffuses the early pages of the Gospels of Matthew and Luke. We see the joy of Zechariah, Mary, Elizabeth, the unborn John the Baptist, the shepherds, the angels, Simeon and Anna, and the Magi from the east. The joy of Christmas is further the result of the most stupendous revelation of all, the revelation of God's humility. God accomplishes the utter reversal of human expectations in the appearance of the Son of God, in the newborn baby outside the city, in the manger, in a cave, with no place to lay his head. God did not send a representative or a go-between. He sent his own Son, and in that sense he came himself. Christmas is when we welcome Jesus into our lives. Can we make Christmas different by pausing to reflect on the marvellous happening of God becoming a newborn baby? Can we make our own the reality that Jesus is always present for us, waiting to be recognised in order that he might be our hope and the light when darkness is upon us, when we have lost our way? These days, life is lived at such a fast pace, and we do more and more, and yet often left with the feeling that we achieve less and less. Our lives are full, but we can feel empty. Perhaps the question is not why are we on the run, but what are we running from? Are we parched because we thirst for meaning, but can find little that is meaningful? The humility, the poverty, and simplicity of the crib scene and the birth of Christ present a challenge to reassess our priorities, our values, and our way of life. We are more than familiar with the Christmas story when the angels appeared to the shepherds to tell them of the birth of Christ. The angels' first words are, "Do not be afraid." They are the same words with which the angel Gabriel greets Mary when he tells her of God's plan that she should be the mother of the Messiah. As Mary's son grows up and begins his life work, he too will say these words many times. Remember St. Matthew's Gospel, the story of the disciples being caught in the dangerous storm out on the lake. Jesus comes to them through the raging sea and encourages them, "Do not be afraid." There are other times through the Gospel when Jesus says these words. Especially we recall the women at the empty tomb after his rising from the dead, and he says, "Do not be afraid." This is the refrain through the Bible, and it reminds us that God is with us, and that is the Christmas message. God is with us. He loves us so much that he became one of us in the helpless child of Bethlehem, so that we might see and know God as he really is and welcome him into our lives. As we join in the festivities that are part of Christmas, may we have the freedom to go on our knees before the small child who is God of everything that is important in our day-to-day living. May the coming of the Christ child this Christmas bathe you and your family in the light of hope that never fades. May the peace of Christmas rest upon you today and always.